Hey everyone, sorry that I have been missing for like a week. I was going to say something last week and then it turned into this video that has been a week in the making. So I will just cut to the chase. I guess I'll go as far back as back when I was working full time. I would go to the grocery store on like weekends and get stuff to make meals for like a couple of weeknights. We would get takeout a lot, and kind of lunches during the week. And I would go to the grocery store one more time during the week to kind of get us through the rest of the week. And since I've quit working and I'm staying home, I've been really bad about going one night or one day for that night for dinner and like the next night and whatever we need for like snacks and lunch. And that was getting exhausting because I was going like every other day to the grocery store. If we needed something like toilet paper, I was having to go again like 2 days in a row to the store. And it was just really overwhelming. I kind of hit a breaking point last week. I was like, okay, I'm going to stock up our kitchen so that I don't have to go as often as I've been going. And I used to do that a lot better before like we had Mia and I had more time, because I used to work somewhere where I was working Wednesday through Saturday evening, like late afternoon evenings. And so I would go on Mondays. I had more energy then, so I would go down the row of location of Costco, Publix, Aldi, Walmart. We thankfully live in a metropolitan area where we have access to all of those things, and now Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's wasn't here then, but I will be referencing those places, but I'm going to try not to be too specific to where anybody that's watching this does not live near one of those. You can still figure it out from like what you were closest to. So last week on Wednesday, I made a video saying, okay, I'm out of groceries. Like I need to go to the grocery store. I was saying I'm going to Costco and Publix that day because since I have a toddler, I try to limit our outings to two places with like something. If I were going to two places, I'll try to take her somewhere where she can like run around and get some energy out, and then she cooperates a little bit better at the whatever stores we go to. Not that she's terrible. She actually makes it a lot more fun having her there. But we went that morning to story time at the library, which was like the fun thing for her, and then to Costco and Publix. And my plan was to hop back on and show like this is what I got, specific to those places. And by the time we got back, I was like pretty tired from the trip. And I needed to put a lot of the things that were cold in the refrigerator or in the freezer. And I was like, okay, I'll just come back on tomorrow. The next day, I was like, I don't feel like it. And I knew that I was wanting to go to Aldi and Trader Joe's. I gave us a day off from running around. And the next day, so last Friday, we went to Aldi and Trader Joe's. And so I was like, okay, I'll do one video on all of those places and show what I got. Well, today is now Friday of the next week. And I've actually, like on Monday, I was like, okay, I've got to do that this week. I've got to do the video. And I just started making lists of the things I had gotten and then divided it up into 4 categories. I have freezer, fridge, fresh, and pantry. And those are the things that I'm going to show that work best for me and like our schedule. But I did want to disclaim that I am in no shape or form a nutritionist. None of this is based off of a clean eating food schedule or whatever. There are things that I'll try to explain as I go along. There are things that I do try to avoid to prevent like gaining weight. I'm not like at a place right now where I'm like, I want to lose a whole ton of weight. I would like to, it would be great. But like realistically, it's more of avoiding things or having things in moderation. But nobody's perfect. I try to have grace with myself. With that said, none of this, like I know some of the things, like some people are probably like, ugh, if you're watching and you do know your facts on those things. But and then there's other times when, like I've said before, I really don't like cream of chicken soup, but I don't hate on anybody that eats it, so whatever. Anyway, I based my shopping on, or this trip was convenience and budget, which that to say, I did run to Walmart Saturday night because it was the night before Father's Day, and I grabbed Chris a gift, and we had company Sunday, so I had to get something. We made tacos, so I had to grab a bag of shredded lettuce. Chris and I don't really eat lettuce on tacos. We do more of like fajita style, but that otherwise I would not have needed to go to Walmart. So I have been to Publix once to get a couple of things, and then I went and got diapers yesterday, so that wouldn't have needed that. If you don't have a toddler or a baby, you wouldn't have needed to make that trip. So I have gone way less to the grocery store, and I do understand, like, I'm probably next week going to need to do this, not as extensive as I did last week because I did stock up so much, but I will have to do another restock pretty soon, realistically. But it has been so nice to not have to worry about going to the grocery store every other day this week. So I'm calling it Sanity Saving Tips because ultimately I want everyone to be encouraged to think about where you are in your schedule. Like maybe you do work full time and these kind of things may not apply to you, but really evaluate what would work, and kind of like, I don't know, I know some people may not have access to as big of a kitchen, like anybody living like a big city has a smaller kitchen or may not have as much room in the pantry. Our pantry is actually pretty small, so I'm going to explain too what I'm keeping in my pantry. And I am not much for like really stocking everything up to where it's like I'm like going crazy with coupons or anything, because I feel like I would make that like an obsession, and I would probably like just keep stocking and like not use it and be like, no, I want to hold on to my collection. So I try to keep it modest and still be minimal. I do try, like when I do make a big trip like this, I do try to throw a lot out before I leave so that our pantry is like, I've organized it. And I do want to do another video. I'm not going to go into that today, but I do want to do another video where I like got rid of a ton of stuff and have it like really organized now. And I love, like, sometimes I just open my pantry door just to look at it because I love the way that it's become now, and like just decluttering, I feel like de-stresses as well. But anyway, okay. So the 4 categories are freezer, fridge, fresh, pantry. I will start with freezer. I have some props here. I do not have any freezer props because I didn't want it to like thaw and then be refrozen or anything like that. But anyway, so for freezer, and also I will say where I got if I got something from Costco, I will specify, but it's still doable if you do not have a membership to a big, what are those things called? A club for the bulk places like Sam's or Costco, which Sam's and Costco have, like, the things that I got there, you could probably still get at Sam's too. And Walmart sells bulk sizes of things as well. But I got a package of their chicken breasts that are 2 breasts per package, and it's 6 of them. And those usually last us a while. I did make 2 of the packages for my family coming over Sunday, so that kind of cut out like a third of it. But normally those last us a while. I have one in the crock pot now behind me for dinner tonight. So a meat in your freezer, for me, like, I have tried to do red meat before and pork, and like the way that Costco is, they have the chicken divided up and they have like one option for ground beef that is honestly like not, to me, per pound, I guess, you're not really saving that much money as if you just go to like your local grocery store. So I really just do the chicken. There's been a few times that I've gotten like a big package of like salmon before, and we just don't eat it that much. I'll usually go somewhere like a more on the organic side to get like a fresh cut of salmon, like when, like, it's like not very often, or sometimes I'll get it from Trader Joe's. But I will say, like, having seafood on hand can like add variety. I did have a bag of shrimp that I split about 3 meals out of it, and now I'm like kind of sick of shrimp. So the fact that it was frozen, like I didn't have to make I have to make them as close together as I was. But if you are a seafood eater and you eat it like a lot, I would say it would be beneficial to get like a bulk size of it. But another good one to keep on hand is burger patties, because if it is like one of the days of the week that you're going just to pick up some, like a few things, like all you'd have to grab is buns, and you know that you can pull those out of the freezer and fry them up in the pan, which Trader Joe's has a lot of good different varieties of the burger patties in like a little box, so it doesn't take up much room. We do not have a big freezer either. That is a big reason why I don't really stock our freezer that much. I can't even fit a frozen pizza in our freezer. It's tiny. So I'm at a disadvantage there. I keep fruit in the freezer because we eat smoothies. I will probably reference smoothies a good bit. I'm going to try not to just be like, this is what I put in our smoothie, because I know it's all different and not everybody makes them. So fruit for us is for smoothies. I know some people keep fruit on hand for just as a snack for their kids. Vegetables, I have been more into frozen vegetables over canned lately. Like the green stuff, like I don't think you can get canned broccoli. I don't know. But to me, broccoli frozen tastes just as good as fresh. Like it doesn't, having it like, you can do so much. I'm putting broccoli in with that chicken later and gonna make a casserole. So having it on hand in the freezer helps a lot. And whenever I buy it fresh, we don't eat the whole big thing. I'll usually put it in half, and then like after we've had it, we're like, oh, we're good for broccoli for a while and not really do much else with it. So I like keeping the green vegetables in the freezer, and sometimes I will get like green beans fresh, or especially asparagus, like we like doing that if we're doing like steaks or something. So some vegetables just to have on hand. I have actually found a bag of a seasoning blend from Publix that is a trio. That's bell pepper, onion, and parsley cut up. In the one bag, I've gotten like 4 meals out of it. You can put it in like almost anything, like soups. You can just put it in like a stir fry. It goes like a lot of different ways. So I definitely encourage people to check out like what your local grocery store offers in the frozen section, like as far as like their brands. Like I like getting stuff from Trader Joe's, because Trader Joe's has like a really big variety of frozen stuff. Like I got a bag of Brussels sprouts the other day I looked at the ingredients and it's literally just Brussels sprouts. They weren't as good as fresh, but it was still like doable. Because like you buy a bag of Brussels sprouts from the grocery store, and Chris and I will eat like half the bag, and then I don't really care to make them again. So we end up wasting a lot more, and getting the frozen makes it last a lot longer. But so that's that one. And then a type of bread in the freezer really helps out a lot as well. There's the Sister Schubert sells yeast rolls in the bag that I really like, because I love yeast bread, like the ones that are like really buttery and really good. And those work really well for sandwiches, like as like a little slider. But I didn't get those this time. Costco does sell them. I got a bag of biscuits and had done, because that night I was doing something that I needed biscuits for, and I've made them like for breakfast as well. And as like the night we had Brussels sprouts, I made biscuits with that meal also, and I could do it tonight. Like having them on hand has been really great. So some type of bread, because like for us, if we have something like those yeast rolls, like if I bought a package fresh, we would probably eat like 3 or 4, and then there's some left and they would probably go bad. But and a lot of the frozen things that I'm suggesting is kind of nice to have on hand in case you do have like someone else join for dinner or something like that, and you have more mouths to feed for whatever reason. And then this one is inspired by my husband, but having a sweet on hand in the freezer is also really great, because you it's not going to go bad. Like if you have a cake, anytime I've ever like made cake for just us, like my little family, it either gets eaten too quickly where it's like, oh, or it goes bad and it gets thrown out. And my husband is bad about, like, if he takes a nap on like a weekend day, not that he gets many weekends, he will wake up and be rummaging through the kitchen, and I'm like, what are you looking for? And he's wanting something sweet. Like, I don't know if it's all men do this, but he wakes up from a nap and wants something sweet. And I know some, like my dad always growing up would want something in the middle of the night. So having like ice cream on hand helps with that, because it's not like going bad. And if you, like I said, if you have company over, it is a good filler for like, oh, we have this option. Which I would keep it, for us, we try to just like keep something simple, like vanilla, or the vanilla with chocolate swirl, and not like anything crazy, because anytime that I have, like if something's been on sale that's not something that we normally get and know that we like we eat less of it, and then it ends up getting frostbite and going bad. So something sweet also. Okay, now for fridge. I'm gonna try not to sound like a big pig, but I love cheese. Like in putting it in stuff that I'm cooking, but my child also loves it. We try to make up for the fact that we eat so much cheese with, like, I've been this week using a coconut milk coffee creamer, and she drinks almond milk, and I'll have like almond milk with cereal. So we try to, our dairy that we have is cheese. We try to like use that instead of, or we try to replace it in other areas to make up for the fact that we eat so much cheese. I bought 2 big bags from Costco because it was saving money. I know some people say that if you buy the block and shred it yourself, that saves a lot of money too. I don't care to do that. So I bought a bag of the Mexican blend, but it's not the kind that's like seasoned with taco seasoning. It's just the blend that happens to be good on tacos from Costco. So it's like 2 big bags, and it was like $6. And we used it for the tacos. I think I'm gonna make like cheese in the casserole tonight that I make, but it's going to last us a while. It probably won't go bad before it's all gone, I don't imagine, because that kind of cheese like lasts a while. But I would say like one that you can cook with and one that you can snack on. My daughter's like obsessed with string cheese. I had to get a different kind from Costco, and they had these little like wheels that were kind of like the Baby Bell, but their version. That's another thing of like, if you have unexpected people come over, or anybody that you do expect, and you're like, oh, I can throw this cheese out while we wait on the meal to cook. So 2 cheeses, a snackable and a cookable. This is my first prop that I have to show you all. I talk all the time about Greek yogurt, and I was saying recently I need to just buy a bulk of Greek yogurt, and Costco had it, and it was, I'm trying to think, I should have kept my receipt. It was about $5 and something for 48 ounces, which is really great. I think this much or more would be over $7. I mean, sorry, this much or less at Publix would be over $7. So I save money there, and I've just been scooping it out. We've been putting it in our smoothies where it's made it balance out to not be super sweet. And I'll probably put it in the casserole tonight. I've been utilizing it really well. I think I have about, let's see how much I've used. Oh, I was gonna say half left. There's a lot of water in there, but it may be less than that. So I've gotten a lot of use out of this, which you can look up on Pinterest or whatever uses for Greek yogurt. It's just a better like filler than some things. And that's like where I was saying, I'm not claiming to be like a clean eating freak, but I do try to alternate where I can. So plain Greek yogurt, and if you are a yogurt eater, I have found that it's cheaper to get in bulk. I bought the little tubes, they're the healthier ones for my daughter. She likes those. And I actually gave eggs in bulk a shot this last week. Anytime I've gotten eggs, I honestly get the little 99-cent 6-pack. And I was like, I don't know if I will be using it 24. And I actually, a week later, have 5 eggs left. Well, I boiled some that I haven't eaten just yet. I boiled them yesterday, so I'll probably have one, like I had one for breakfast this morning. So the next few days, I will use those. Those won't go to waste. I have 5 eggs left. Eggs always last a long time, and it has encouraged me to make more breakfast. So eggs in bulk, it was like 3 something for 24, but if you don't live, or if you don't have access to the bulk option, I think Walmart still does sell them that way. an extra meat, because I did say frozen meat, but fresh meat to make, like if you're going over the weekend to the store, I would grab something like some kind of steak, or if you're a pork eater, to make at the beginning of the week before it goes bad. So an extra meat to have on hand. And for us, sandwich meat goes really far because you can use it like with, like you can make breakfast sandwiches. My husband will go, like if I get a package of Costco's ham, not like it's like their brand, he will eat it like it's chips. And I bought that on, when did I go? Wednesday, and we ran out by Saturday. So I should have gotten 2 packages. And it honestly saves so much money getting it in bulk as opposed to the little packages at the regular grocery store. So sandwich meat. I would do sausage on hand also, and it doesn't have to be pork. Like there's all kinds of sausages you can do, but we really like it, maybe because I'm Irish, but we will cut up sausage and do like a random, I don't even know if you'd call it stir fry, but do that with like potatoes and like whatever vegetable, like asparagus or the Brussels sprouts, like whatever random vegetables you have with like seasoning in like one dish, and it's a good meal to have. Another prop I have on hand that I would say to keep in your fridge is a snackable dip. This is a cheese dip that I got on sale, if y'all can see it. It's really spicy. Like I've said before, we really like spicy food. This was on sale. It was really expensive, regular price. So I would probably not pay full price for it, but I got it on sale with like crackers. Hummus is another really good one, and salsa is another really good one, that they both last pretty long, and like it's a heavier snack than just like, here's use some chips. So whereas like if like you're in between lunch and dinner and you're really wanting something to hold you over, that's a really great thing to have on hand, or like if someone comes over. And then I always try to keep a juice on hand for smoothies and because I have a toddler. But okay, I'm gonna move on to fresh stuff. So that's the fridge stuff. And I meant to say this at the beginning, I'm so sorry. I'm not including things like flour, baking powder, or any butter, anything like that, because like I feel like people would already have that, or you would have already made the decision in your life not to have those things or whatever. Like the breakdown of like if you were going to make a cake, do you have all the things to make it versus a box? I feel like people that intentionally make cakes from scratch are all going to already have those things on hand anyway. And everybody keeps some kind of oil, or you should keep some kind of oil to cook with, whether it's butter or olive oil or whatever. So I'm not going to break it down that far. These are just things that like throughout the week will get you through your sanity. Okay. So fresh. I have my lemon prop for this because I always say, I think I've said in almost every video that I've made, to keep citrus on hand. This one I got last week. I'm trying to remember where I got it from. I don't know. It's very ripe by now, but there's so much that you can do with either lime or lemon. I usually get lemon. Lime's better in the summer. But even if you're not cooking with it, there's so much you can do. Like I had one earlier that I had squeezed into something, and I took the rest of the half and scrubbed my sink with it to make it like fresh and smell better. There's a lot, like just look that up on Pinterest on your own time, to uses for lemon or lime. But in food, like if you have your seafood on hand in your freezer, putting your fresh like lemon on there makes it so much better. I squeezed some into the chicken when I put it in the crock pot. You can make salad dressing out of it. Like there's a lot of different options you can have. I wish we lived in an area where I could just have like a lemon plant. I don't think it would grow very well here, but and I would say like fresh fruits and vegetables. I know I said frozen fruit and vegetables, but also fresh to keep a variety. And some stuff's just better fresh. Like I don't know if I would try frozen asparagus, but back when I was doing things like I said, as I was going like one day and just grabbing stuff, like I really will grab like a meat and like a bag of like gold potatoes or like sweet potatoes and vegetables, and when I get home I'm like, okay, let's look at what I have, and then make that. But having like some kind of potato on hand goes really far also, because there's so many options you can do with that. And I would say too, whatever is in season, like we've been going through peaches like crazy lately because it's summer and we have access to some really great peaches here in Alabama. So like what you guys will eat or your family, and what's in season are my tips on that. There's certain, like I know what fruits my daughter doesn't like, so I'm not gonna go buy a bunch of that. Like I said, we utilized all of the peaches and I got a box of them from Costco. I always have bananas on hand because we put them in smoothies. I use the peel in like the plants that I grow in my garden, and if it gets extremely ripe, you can still bake with it also. Like I make pancakes out of them sometimes when it's like falling apart. Or there's like banana bread. There's a lot of options for banana and a lot of ways that you can use it in baking as well. Fresh bread, for us, like anytime I buy a loaf of bread, it ends up molding before we use all of it. Even though like if I do keep sandwich meat on hand, my husband eats it plain. I need to get better about like sandwiches for me. Like one time I did take the effort to make a bunch of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and put them in the fridge, and I threw out like half of it. I was just like, this is a lot of bread. But fresh bread to have, like in case you are like starving and need like a peanut butter sandwich, I would say you would not regret buying it, because I mean a loaf isn't that much. It's not like you've wasted a ton of money. Something that I like to keep on hand, as I just referenced my garden, is fresh herbs. A few years ago, I tried to put some in my kitchen, and I did not do my research on the stuff that I got, and I did not take care of them the way that I should have, and they all ended up dying. And now that I have more time and have more patience, I took the time to really look into what I was growing and all this, and it has been really rewarding to use stuff and have fresh things on hand like that I can just grab. And it's been fun showing my daughter like what things are. She knows what the parsley is. She calls rosemary Rosie Mary. It's been more fulfilling than not. So if you have the time and the access to like the space outside, or I don't keep mine inside, but if you're willing to give that a shot, I would say having fresh herbs on hand can make all the difference, because you can put parsley on like anything and it makes it taste pretty good. I think I already said potatoes. I have that on my list here. Okay, time for pantry. This is one that I have the most props for because it's not gonna get one. So something that I always keep on hand is stock. I always say keep stock on stock, or a stock of stock on stock. I do vegetable because it goes with chicken, seafood, pork, and I get more beef stock in the winter when if I'm making more soups, like we do taco soup, a good bit of beef stock goes in there, but I don't really use it that much. Like in the summer, I'll use wine more. Like if I'm making a gravy or something with red meat, I'll use red wine. So I guess that's another thing to keep on hand is like a cooking wine. And like I said, I'm not as big on canned vegetables, but I did grab a bunch at Aldi because they're cheaper there, of black beans. I grabbed a couple cans of corn, even though I would rather like have corn on the cob fresh, but sometimes throwing corn in with like a casserole or something is doable. And I did black-eyed peas. But I know people will get the dried version and then do it. Like if you have enough time for that and you're willing to do it, that is great. I don't care to, so I grabbed beans. I did, I think, black and refried. I should probably do like kidney too the next time I'm there, because we do a lot of, I make jambalaya like once or twice a month. So I should do kidney also. And I like to keep tuna on hand because of the tuna cakes that I have a video on the tuna cakes. We had those Wednesday night. I actually got last week the pouches because they were on sale, and I was like looking at them thinking this isn't going to be enough. I got 2 of the pouches, and it ended up being more tuna in those than the 4 cans. I didn't compare literal like serving sizes, but when I put it in the stand mixer and made the batter and all that for the cakes, it ended up making a lot more that way with the pouches. Maybe it's in my head, but I don't know. For that, I have to have Jiffy mix. I didn't grab that. The cornbread mix. And that's good to have on hand, like for casseroles or just making cornbread also, which you can. Over Thanksgiving, I had to improvise and make cornbread from scratch, and I actually had all the things for that. There's actually a few bread options you can have for pantry bread. Would be another one is the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits. I think there's other brands for that. That's the one that sticks out for me because when it's on sale at Publix, I get at least 1 box. I would say another sweet in your pantry. For me, these were on sale last week. So, something for Sanity when your kid goes to bed and you're like, I need chocolate. Or she's napping right now. If I wasn't like 100 degrees in here, I'd probably eat some of these. But something that like you can have on hand to get yourself through. Because I mean, girls, there's a time of the month when you're like, I will kill someone if I do not have some chocolate. So having this on hand, something like this, very sweet option that I would suggest. That I got last week because like I said, I had company over. These were buy one get one free last week. The brownie mixes, they had cake too, but I got brownie. I made one of the boxes when my family came over, and now I have this one for like if we're invited somewhere, like to bring as a dessert, or if I have people over again. Like it's just good to have this, or like I said, if I'm like really dying for some chocolate. I wouldn't like go crazy stocking up like 10 boxes of it unless you just like really have a good coupon or you have the space or something. But I'm happy that I have this as an option in case I need it. So a couple of sweet options, but not like going crazy. Some kind of cracker. And for me, like tortilla chips and salsa is such a better snack than like just regular chips. So I think like I always want to have tortilla chips on hand because like we do tacos a lot or enchiladas or whatever, and it's easier to already have them. Like I had gotten the bag from Costco. We already went through it because of my family coming over on Sunday, but the price there is like so much better than just getting like a regular size bag, and it lasts so much longer. Something like rice and noodles. I made my box of noodles last night. I'll probably get another box before the week is over because they're on sale right now. But I have about 4 boxes of this. It's quinoa and brown rice, the Near East brand. This one is roasted red pepper and basil. I have a few different flavors of this that I keep. When it's on sale, I buy like 4 boxes, and they usually last until the next time they go on sale. We eat one of these like once a week. I know some people would prefer to have just a bulk of rice on hand to like scoop out of a container and cook it like that, but I really like the ones that are already seasoned, especially with like if the times that we do have seafood, these go really great with that. And noodle, like if you're doing pasta or macaroni and cheese or something, it's good to have noodles on hand. And I would say like ethnic meal options add variety to the week. I didn't pull it out. Something like keeping taco seasoning on hand, and we have tortilla chips and the tortillas. Like I made a little chicken wrap for lunch yesterday, having that on hand, but having like spaghetti sauce too. Like you can use it either for spaghetti, or you can make pizza, or you make little pizza rolls. Having like thinking when you're there, getting a couple of different options as far as like regions of the world. We're not big on like Indian type food. Like we don't like curry, but if you do, like maybe get something like that. And I think that goes too with, like I said, we really like Cajun. So that at least like once a month or so, however you choose. And something that I've tried to like minimize, even though I know I'm saying stocking up, but when I went through my pantry, we had like 6 boxes of cereal. So I would say keep like 1 box on hand, 1 or 2 until it's done. And then I would not get more cereal. But keeping cereal on hand, like last night, Mia wanted a snack later at night and we had already eaten. So I was like, okay, here's some cereal and milk, and she ate it and was happy. So keeping cereal on hand, portable snacks a toddler or like a lifesaver. I know these aren't something that people are like, oh, that's not healthy, but it makes her happy. Like I'll grab it or have one in my purse. These are gummies, or like she can eat in the car or on the way somewhere. They're like a lifesaver. So a portable snack. I know there's like a big trend right now, and like if you want to do the research on Pinterest, there's a lot of people taking the time to show. Like I saw a video yesterday of a girl doing one out of a tackle box where she took like goldfish and pepperoni and stuff like that for her like portable snack of like if they were going on like a day out somewhere. So that's an option too. Did I bring it out here? We eat a lot of this popcorn. Is it? We go through a lot of popcorns, and one box to me lasts like a good amount of time because there's like 6. Well, I guess I would, if we ate a bag a day, it's probably not every day. It's probably like every other day, but it's like fresh because you pop it, and it's not the same as like getting the bag of the already popped. Like to me, it's like a little more special because it's hot and fresh. But Mia really likes this. It's a good like family snack. So for us, keeping popcorn on hand is really great. Something that I don't really do much of is soft drinks, but in replace of that, I like getting the powdered drinks like this Crystal Light Pure. This is one that you put in an individual water bottle. I buy the ones that are these and the ones that are for pitchers. Like I have the lemonade one for if like if we have company coming over or we just want some lemonade or whatever. When those are on sale, I always buy multiple boxes, and it's good to keep. Like if you do want some, because normally we just drink water or I'll have coffee in the mornings. So that gives you an option for a drink that's not like going to go flat from a 2 liter, and it's not as much sugar as like a soda would be. So what I did, that's all that I have for my categories. But what I did when I got home from the store with all of the things that I had gotten, I wrote down all of the meats that I had, and I wrote down the sides and the vegetables. And I did kind of like one of those crisscross word search things that you do when you're a kid, and was like, okay, like I still had that shrimp on hand, and I had some Caribbean rice and the seasoning mix that I told you guys about, and some green beans. And I did like a Caribbean, like I made the shrimp and like blackened seasoning that I have, and that was like Monday night. And I wrote out like, okay, Sunday we're having tacos, Monday we're having the Caribbean shrimp and rice, Tuesday we did stuffed chicken, Wednesday we did Wednesday we did tuna cakes, Thursday we did spaghetti, and I only had to go get noodles the other day before we had the spaghetti last night. So planning it out like that is like such a lifesaver where you're not like scrambling. And sometimes like people do go as far as already like cutting the things up that need cut up a couple nights in advance, not so long that it's going to go bad or get brown or whatever. But having a plan makes it so much easier. But that's kind of like what I did last week that took me a week to tell you guys about. But I hope that you all are encouraged to feel out your situation and figure out like what is easier for you to make your life a little less stressful, because nobody needs stress. But thanks for watching. All right, well, everybody have a great weekend.